The meeting point was the border post between Zimbabwe and Botswana. And, for once, I was the first to arrive. Now, as you'd expect, I've done this properly. What I've got is a 1985 Mercedes-Benz 230e, a car that Africa absolutely adores because it's comfortable, it's rugged, it's dependable, and frankly, if the other two have brought anything other than one of these along, they're idiots. The first idiot arrived.
Can you open the door, because the handle's broken?
It is a Lancia Beta.
Coupe, 1981. The only Lancia of any sort in the whole of Botswana. It's done 29,000 miles.
One owner, is it?
A little old lady. And boy, had she ragged it.
Yeah, that's normal, isn't it? That fizzing.
That's, yeah.
What's the piece of cardboard for? Is that for mopping up moisture?
No, that's because the battery...
Oh, it shorts on the bonnet?
Shorts on the bonnet a
Right.
bit.
You've done well. So now what? Do you want to lift? We left the Lancia to cool down because Hammond was arriving.
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Could it be a Moscovich?
Opal.
Opal.
It's an Opal.
And on the front it says Cadet.
Yeah!
What the hell have you done, man?
It's an Opel Kadett from 1963.
So that's the same age as...
The same age as
you.
me.
Yes, but it's much better nick than you are. It was £1,200. I had much change with which to buy many beads. How much more simple can you get? It's got 2 moving parts, and it's been here for 44 years.
I love the Speedo.
I do like a horizontal speed. I really do.
Where's the engine?
It's there.
Hold on.
Hang on with it. It's tiny.
Do you want to know about the power?
Yes, I do.
40.
40.
40 horsepower.
Yeah, well, they did do a sport version with 48, but I didn't want anything too leery.
You've both been idiots.
No.
Brilliantly interesting, brilliantly stylish, but stupid.
So a complicated...
Why is mine stupid?
What
because,
is yours?
well-
Where is yours? A Lancia. You have been a bit thick.
With the cars at the start line, it was time for our challenge.
The people of Surrey think they need 4-wheel drive cars because they live up a lane which sometimes has leaves on it. You will now attempt to prove them wrong by driving your 2-wheel drive cars from here on Botswana's eastern border with Zimbabwe, which is there, 1,000 miles to its western border with Namibia. That's right across the spine of Africa.
I'm confident.
I wasn't. We hadn't even started, and the Lancia was playing up. James chose not to wait. The tip paid off, and I was the first to arrive at our pre-arranged meeting point. The Miami Highlight Stadium.
This is a Chevrolet Camaro, the RS model. 5-litre V8 engine, 5-speed gearbox, rear-wheel drive. A full-on American muscle car. Only 3 previous murderers, and I only paid $800 for it. It's a brilliant find.
Then Hammond turned up.
Oh dear, he's never been to America before, and now he's bought himself what he thinks all Americans have. That is bluff.
What do you think?
I knew, well, it's a Dodge Ram. It's terrible. A dent?
No, there's a few dents and a bit's missing, but it's basic. It's basic motoring at its very best.
You know how a Mercedes goes?
Yeah. It's not a Mercedes. It's not a Mercedes.
How much?
1,000.
That shuts. 1,000?
Yes.
800. I'm already $200 ahead of you.
$800?
The RS model?
Was that the basic one?
Of course it wasn't the basic one. RS is Rally Sport.
I'd asked James on that one when he arrives, but I'm not entirely sure it was.
There was the RS, the IROC Z. The RS was the
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was the...
I'll keep quiet about it. But no, every single thing on it works, nearly.
Oh, it's a manual.
Yeah, 5 on the floor, rear-wheel drive. I've got a muscle car. How many horsepower?
200 and...
Oh, rubbish.
170.
190. How do they get such a small amount of horsepower from a car?
The more pressing question, though, was where was James?
He will have walked into a dealership, hello, and they'll have shot him. Hello. How can he take so long?
Because that's what he does.
I mean, he'd be lost.
Good grief! That's not how it's train! That's...
Titanic! No,
a
wait, I've changed my mind. It's an aircraft carrier.
That's really big.
That, gentlemen, is how you do it. It's a 1989 Cadillac Brougham sedan. What do you think?
Well, this is terrible.
It's like a long walk round it. It's a really long walk.
I like
It
that,
doesn't
though.
just move up and down, look.
It's going from side to side.
Have you seen the roads around here? That is a perfect car for the environment. $900.
And you can see why.
It's had a repair. Well, Lee, don't do that.
Oh.
No, it's got
leave it.
newspaper in
You
it.
can date it, find out when it was repaired.
It was a Wednesday.
What size engine is this thing, guy?
5-litre V8. It's not fast, but it is
You don't
fabulously-
say it's not fast. Is it not, mate? I took one look and thought, oh, it's like a Lotus Exige.
James then turned on our cars.
The wheels are odd.
No, I've got an alloy. That's my alloy. Check out my alloy.
This has just been made out of bits.
It hasn't. How do you...
Smells of bodies. Oh, it does smell a bit ripe.
Hold on, this...
Oh, that's the clothes of the last person they killed.
It is!
Oh, my.
Oh, God, no!
That's the last person the driver killed. Don't know. The poor man was trying to get out.
James and I bought cars.
Yes.
You've bought a pickup truck. Now, the reason yours is in better condition is because it's just a pickup truck.
It's lovely. I'm delighted
I
with it.
quite like the pickup truck.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
come
What,
on.
compared
This
to
is
the
the
Camaro?
land of the pickup truck.
Well, you don't like the Camaro?
I'm sorry, I don't. Well, I do. I mean, one of those in good nick. Yes. Yours is a dog.
It isn't.
Jeremy.
But every one of us has got something better than you get from a rental desk at an airport.
Oh, yeah. Know what to do, we sat down and did nothing.
I'm sure there's spiders in here. There will be.
Shh.
What? Is that in harmony with nature?
Stop playing ethnic tunes.
Boys.
Cars.
Plainly, there had been a terrible mix-up because one of the cars on the raft was a little Suzuki. None of us would have been that daft. But then we remembered James was with us.
1.3 litre
1.3 litre.
wine bar specials, famous for being able to stay on their own four-wheel.
No, falling over.
Falling over. I presume then the Land Cruiser, by power of deduction, is yours.
Yes, it is. Correct choice. Everyone will agree. That's
And you
brilliant.
have, if my eyes are not deceiving me, a Range Rover.
The best 4x4 by far, as we know.
I had one of those.
Yeah, classic. I had one as well.
Yeah.
Did yours ever work?
No.
How is that raft steering itself?
There's a little boat behind it, look.
The driver of the little boat pushed the raft vaguely near the bank,
Right. Well, we can get... No, don't do that. Don't pull it back. We need to get it...
and then went home.
Is that him just gone?
Yep.
Hey! You haven't parked it!
We tried to pull the raft nearer to the bank, but it was very difficult.
Right, heave!
It's not moving.
So we gave up.
Right, that's it, lads. Up the gangplank. Yeah. Oh, there's a thing there. It's not a rope.
We are good. It's like literally being with Livingston
Yeah.
and...
That would help. Probably quite painful.
It was. But don't worry, I'm all right.
Was on board, so we could get our first look at what we bought from the Bolivian classifieds.
Notoriously long-lived, sturdy, reliable, small, agile.
What did it say in the advert in the Bolivian Auto Trader?
Well, I'll tell you what it did show in the picture.
What?
That it was blue.
Did it say in the advert that all 4 tyres would be pumped up?
No. Oh, bloody hell.
Well, we did buy these long distance.
The only thing saggier than my tyre was Hammond's roof.
It wasn't always a convertible, was it?
No, it's
Somebody's
been
converted this.
converted to a convertible.
I think it
It's
was...
been converted by somebody who is A, of Spanish descent, and B, a communist.
It's a tasty car all round. That I'm very pleased.
Oh, I like the see-through, like this. The window's not here, it's here, and there's no winder.
I don't need one. It's hot.
To demonstrate what fools the others had been, I showed them the beating heart of my mighty Range Rover.
Behold, gentlemen, the 3.9-litre V8 engine.
3.9, yeah?
3.9?
They had injection, didn't they, Hammond, the 3.9?
Yes, all of them were fuel injected.
What are those on the top?
I believe they're carburettors.
They look like carburetors.
They are carburetors.
They are carburettors.
They are, yeah.
That can't be a 3.9, mate. That's a 3.5.
It said in the advert it was a 3.9.
Well, it said mine was blue.
Yeah. OK, so there's some issues. Well, you'll be opening the bonnet a lot, I'll tell you.
I won't.
You will. That's what killed these off globally. Why does everywhere, all over the world, wherever you are, and anywhere inhospitable and difficult, use a Toyota Land Cruiser?
First Aztec bird we come across, she'll make a beeline for me in this.
Yeah. OK.
The start point for our trade mission was Bombay. A vibrant, teeming mass of 20 million potential customers.
I am the first to arrive, and as you possibly wouldn't expect, I don't appear to have done this quite right. This is a Series 1 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow from 1976. And some of you will be saying, you should have brought a modern Rolls-Royce, but there's 2 reasons why I couldn't. Firstly, I had a budget of just £7,000. And secondly, a modern Rolls-Royce is, of course, a German car, whereas this one was hand-wrought in Crewe in a factory that used to make Merlin engines for Spitfires out of the finest British car-making materials. It is Her Majesty the Queen with a tax disc and lovely carpet.
At this point, Jeremy arrived.
Behold!
In easily the most inappropriate car it's possible to imagine.
You stupid man.
What's wrong with it?
We're here representing Britain.
Yes.
And all that's great about Britain. And you
Yes.
have brought along a Jaguar XJS and almost certainly our country's historical most unreliable car.
This is the celebration model.
Is it celebration of what? It's
Celebrating-
production finally coming to an end.
60 years of Jaguar. Special wheels, special colour-coordinated bumpers, 4-litre, straight-6 engine.
That thing has a reputation for stopping.
James, as I recall, the braking system and the steering in this is controlled by hydraulics.
That is right.
Now, if this car were to break down in the Rolls-Royce factory next to the team that built it, they wouldn't be able to mend it. You're in India.
Yes.
If your hydraulics go wrong,
Yes.
you are out. You are an embarrassment to the nation. And can I just say, this vinyl roof, he's just put the vinyl over the guttering. This is not an advertisement. If you were advertising millets, tenting...
Look, this car helped cement the very special Anglo-Indian relationship.
How?
The favoured car of the Maharajas. They sold hundreds of cars to Indian
Only
Rolls-Royce.
because Jaguar wasn't around then. All of the Maharajas would have had XJS.
They wouldn't.
They would.
At this point, something very small arrived. In a Mini.
God, that is an absolute nuisance.
That's quite a good idea, actually, but don't tell him. Hammond, you idiot.
You idiot!
What?
Is that a good idea? I'm not... Is it?
Is
this
it a good idea? It's genius. Just to clarify this, what it is a classic Mini Cooper Sport. One of the very last ones built, in fact. Year
That is-
2000.
That is immaculate.
Isn't it?
That's pretty
It
tidy.
really is.
This is India, though. It's a big old place, and this is a
Yes.
small old car.
And come on, lads, you both know it is the home of the small car.
Was.
No, it still is. What
Was.
matters most in India is how big it is inside, how small it is outside, and how many people you can get in.
Now, that's just racist.
What?
When India was emerging,
Yeah.
they saw the car as a tool. But now that India has emerged and is one of the economic superpowers, everybody's going to want something with a great long
Yeah, because what happens
thrusting...
next is the country grows out of the great long thrusting, whatever it is they feel they need, and they come back to wanting, yes, style and practicality and convenience. And look at it.
Yes, we're trying to say that Britain is a great country and that we have things to offer a country which has succeeded.
Such as this. Not
No.
a tired old Jaguar and that's a shadow.
It is.
How far do you think he's going to get in there?
Well, I think he's probably finished, isn't he? That's it, really.
Let's see.
Hammond and May then ganged up on my Jag.
But I should point out the bits that will go wrong.
Yes. All of those. Yeah.
See all those little relays and things and those
they'll go
connectors made in the Midlands, they'll go wrong. Cooling system, they'll go wrong.
Oh, it's okay
This is-
because some of the relays are made in Spain.
This is what I've brought. It's the Ferrari 458 Italia. And it is, in my view, the best car they currently make. And you can't actually argue about this, Clarkson, because you said on the television it was magnificent and one of the all-time greats.
I can argue, and I will, because although this is an excellent car, it isn't quite as excellent as the car I've brought along, which is this, the Mercedes SLS.
They're both wrong because I brought the best car. I brought the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, which is the best 911 and therefore the best car. That's an end of it.
Hammond,
What?
what you've brought, mate, is a knife to a gunfight.
Well, how'd you make that out?
Well, let me explain, OK? Premiership, Johnston's Paint Trophy. How much is it?
Exactly. You think about it. It's half the price, pretty much, of the other two.
How much is it?
104,000.
It's not half the price.
Well, pretty much. How much is yours?
160.
Well, yeah.
170,
And by the time we put anything on it,
well, 190.
there you go. This is half the price and still the best car. and
It
half the-
isn't.
Well, it is. Well, we shall see.
It's got stickers on it.
Porsche have given it an unusual little flamboyant touch, which is rare for Porsche.
You've got red wheels on
Yes,
a
they
grey
are.
car, which is not bad, but then the calipers are yellow, and that looks stupid.
You're right. It's a colour disaster.
It is a colour
I've
disaster.
gone off it. It's a
And it's got
fashion crisis.
stickers.
I
Oh,
don't
can I
care.
just say how nice it is to be the elder statesman here with the grown-up car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With those doors. Look at me. I'm an eagle and I'm here.
I
Can you
admit-
get an optional extra where you hit a button and CO2 flows out as you get out in a Darth Vader costume?
I admit the doors are a bit show-offy, but when I close them, that is pure elegance.
No, that is gigantic, is what it is.
This appeals to someone who is 5.
Yes.
Yours appeals to someone who is 55 and thinks it won't work in a minute. This is for somebody who has taste, refinement. It is.
It is obvious that that is a more modern car. It's a better.
We could have argued until sunset.
Calais. Beautiful. But it has been enlivened this morning by the arrival of this magnificent Porsche 944. And this is the S2 model, the last and the best. 3-litre engine at the front, rear-wheel drive, and the gearbox is at the back as well. Now, that does mean the boot floor is a bit shallow, but really that's a small price to pay, frankly, for engineering balance, engineering perfection. It is remarkable that you can buy a car as good as this for 1,500 quid. And equally remarkable that somebody should spend £1,500 on what can only be described as a Datsun. That's utterly hideous.
It is. Oh, no, let me just talk you through. Nissan 300ZX, headlines, technical stuff, 3-litre V6, 4-wheel steer, twin turbo.
I bet you Paul Raymond had a Nissan 300ZX.
It is a pornographer's car, isn't it?
It is a pornographer's car.
And then the 1980s arrived.
Oh, Lord! From the set of Minder, Terry McCann is here. All right, Tel, I want to see claret on a pavement.
The Capri 2.8 injection, the last hurrah of the common man's coupe.
I love these things.
It's fantastic.
It's terrible.
Seriously.
It's hateful.
All I would say is BMW 635, 323, 325. I saw all of these for 1,500 quid.
Yeah, I know. Didn't you always want a Capri?
Yes, but the producers are not going to say the winner is the one who always wanted their car most.
Hammond and I then discovered an interesting feature on Jeremy's Porsche.
After three.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, sorry. Did I hit you with
You actually hit him in the plums. Did he go for your plums? He does that. He actually does go for them.
When I was mended, we were given a challenge.
Right. You will now drive your £1,500 rear-wheel drive cars to a racetrack. It's called Circuit de
Circuit to
Lac.
something or other.
The only drawback is that it's 500 miles away. Nissan.
500 miles, that's just... I'm there.
I'm
500
not entirely
miles.
confident about that, to be brutally honest.
So here it is, at the bottom end of Ukraine, jutting out into the Black Sea. The Crimean Peninsula, 10,000 square miles of history, beetroot, and girls who leave the West behind. And this is where we were to meet, the city of Yalta, outside the very building where Churchill, Stalin, and Roosevelt met to carve up Europe after Hitler's defeat. Hammond was the first to arrive.
I have brought, as you can see, a Fiesta, which is a very, very good small car in any case, but in this instance, particularly good because this one is fitted with an absolute jewel of an engine. It's a tiny 1-litre 3-cylinder EcoBoost. And when I say tiny, I mean really tiny. The block of that engine would fit on an A4 piece of paper, and it's magnificent. Right, who's that? Oh, it's the orangutan. Here we go.
Congratulations.
What? Why?
Because that is unquestionably the best 1-litre little car of them all. No doubt about it. And the engine in this,
Yeah.
it is phenomenal. 125 horsepower from 1 litre.
I know.
And 65 miles to the gallon. Honestly,
Why
I'm
are you
not...
saying these things and why then aren't you in one? Why are you in that VW?
It's the up exclamation mark. This, well, I brought this because I like it.
Well, hang on, you've just...
No, I like it. This is brilliant, but I like this. Let me put it to you this way, Hammond. You can buy better dogs than my West Highland Terrier, but I like my West Highland Terrier. Yes, it bites the postman, and it lays dog eggs all over the kitchen, and it steals food, but it's brilliant, and it goes, ah, ah. If this had ears, it'd go like that.
Sadly, at this point, my dog impersonation was interrupted by the arrival of Captain Interesting.
It's the most boring-looking car. What is it? I'm nodding off.
Good news!
What?
It's a Dacia Sandero.
Is it?
Yes.
Anyway, we were just saying before you got here, this is just an epic little car.
It's quite expensive, though, isn't it? I think.
Well, I mean...
How much is it?
17 and a half.
£17,500.
Yep.
And how much is yours?
7.5.
That's a big price, Gulf Hammond.
That's a massive
It
price.
is.
I can afford to lose this and just go and buy another one, and I'm still better off than you.
Look at it, it's
It looks great. It's anti-fashion. It's a car for people with more sense than money. It works. It's cheap.
Wow, how have they done it so cheap?
You can't work it out, can you? There's no obvious...
amazing.
That steering wheel, what a quality item.
It's exactly the same as yours.
It is the same shape. And correct me if I'm wrong, it was a Renault Clio 30 years ago.
Not 30 years ago. It's based on the underpinnings and mechanicals of the old Renault Clio.
An old
but
car.
It's an
Oh,
old car. Basically, I've brought an iPod to a gramophone convention.
Utter rubbish.
Ah, look at it.
Our argument was then interrupted by the arrival of a challenge.
They still don't believe that we like small cars. But we do.
I love my Fiesta.
Right. Between Yalta and Sevastopol, there is an excellent coast road which you would enjoy very much in a normal car, but you will not be able to enjoy it in your miserable little shopping cart. Hello? No, the purple one was biscuit and raisin. It was.
Yeah, that had little bits of biscuit in it.
And blue was the
Blue
original.
has nothing extra. Yes, that was.
And then they did the pink one, which was only...
He never did a pink
They
one.
did. It's called It's for Girls, and they only sold it on the Isle of Man. Not a lot of people know that.
At exactly 14 minutes past 9, the lorries turned up.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Good.
And Then, using our massive knowledge of HGVs, we set about explaining why we'd bought what we'd bought.
So, May, which
Yeah.
one's yours?
Scania B94. It's, this is the sleeper cab, which has got the extra bit on the back where you can sleep. They also did it as a day cab, which didn't have that bit, so you couldn't sleep in it. It's the...
He doesn't know anything.
What colour is it, James?
What have you got then?
A lorry.
What sort?
A big one.
Well, clearly.
It's a Renault. And what makes this one interesting is that the cab sits on top of all the engine. So it has a flat floor. And that means
The floor's flat.
it's easier to fit the carpet. Come on then, Hammond, show me what you've got.
I have this.
What is it?
It's an earth.
This was hopeless,
How's yours?
so we resorted to our lorry crib sheets.
Has yours got...
Is all this just my lorry? Let's be honest, we
12 litre straight six. Go.
11 litres. I mean, it's not as big, but it's still pretty big.
9 litres. But, well, yeah, but the thing is... All right.
Did you just buy a shed?
Yours is tiny.
It is ridiculously small.
That's a Caterham of the lorry world that you
Yes.
described.
Right.
That's a
And the
Caterham.
point of that is,
Well, there's bound to be a speed
you
test.
think
there
your
always is.
lightweight,
It's a Lotus
11
lorry.
litre lorry?
Yeah.
No. Not that. In less developed countries, such as Australia and America, people like to decorate and personalise their lorries. You will now go away and do the same. I'm going to need a hell of a lot of paint.
To meet up at the Warwick services on the M40, and Jeremy was first to arrive.
This is what I've bought. It's a Rover SD1 styled to look like a Ferrari Daytona, and it does. This particular model has the 3.5 litre V8 engine, and inside you will find plum-coloured Vulgalore upholstery. It's got a stereo radio cassette that doesn't work. It's got cruise control that doesn't work, an electric sunshine roof that doesn't work. But as a result of these small, niggly little faults, I was able to get this bucket of magnificence for just 1,100 of my pounds.
The next contender arrived.
Wait, there's a car arriving here with no one behind the wheel. It must be Hammond, and it's a Dolly Sprint!
What do you think?
Yeah, look at that.
First ever production car to have 16 valves, 4 per cylinder.
Wow.
And the first British saloon car to have alloy wheels as standard.
Wow.
It's up there.
And, I seem to recall.
Yes,
Very
but,
sporty.
But hang on, real wood.
I know.
The only thing is they forgot to sand it. If you run, you get splinters off it. It's honest. It's made out of floorboards. It's unbelievable.
So how much did you pay of your own money?
1,250-ish.
So you've gone over.
Because it's a classic. It's desirable. People want these things.
I talked Richard through the Rover's little foibles.
Little known fact about the Rover SD1 is that it was longer on one side because it was not very well made than it was on the other. Engine, good. Gearbox, good. Clutch, good.
Because these had central locking, electric
Yeah.
windows. Didn't people used to get trapped in them and killed?
Yeah. Your Dolly Sprint was the hot hatchback of its day, really.
Very much so.
So what's May got?
Morning.
And he's brought a piece of cheese. You brought a princess, James.
I have.
James, we're trying to prove that British Leyland occasionally made good cars.
You're not helping our case here.
Most interesting car they ever made, and most radical, and most modern.
Oh, look at the brown interior. Oh.
Brown,
brown.
brown, brown.
It's brown and browner.
Brown was a 70s colour. This is a 1978 car. It's very interesting. It's in good condition.
Why is it interesting?
This was the first car in the world to obscure its wiper spindles under the bonnet.
Obscured windscreen wiper spindles. There's a reason to own one.
At the time, it was important.
What's the
And it's
suspension in this? It was
hydrogas.
hydrogas, so it's
Very, very...
Very low.
No, that's how it should be.
It's
on
very
one
low on
side.
that side and very high.
It's actually broken, James.
It's leaked.
This car, the Dolly Sprint, was driven in the professionals.
Yes.
This featured in the video of Don't You Want Me Baby by the Human League. This was driven by Terry Scott in Terry and June.
Enough said.
Now, at this point, we'd normally receive our challenge, but spitefully, the production team said we had to drive 40 miles to go and get it. 40 miles? No problem at all.
To horse.
Come on. Yeah. Oh, God. The key won't turn in my ignition.
Mine doesn't start at all.
Hang on, James. Which slovenly Midlander built this? The steering lock's gone on. God. I like it here.
It's a shame to move on from such a
It
glorious
is. It's a
spot.
lovely morning.
I'm just letting my engine breathe, get some air.
Yes.
Eventually, the Rover screeched into life. I got my dolly going as well, and we were on our way. I was the first to arrive.
I've just bought a Ferrari for 10 grand. It's a 1979 308 GT4. Look, it's yellow, it's got an engine in the middle, it's got everything. Right. Wait for the others. See what they've got.
Jeremy was next to roll up.
The Maserati
It's a Maserati.
Maserati Merak.
Merak.
Yeah.
Right.
Possibly the prettiest supercar ever made.
Potentially.
£7,000.
About 3 grand less than me.
Yours.
That's,
And you bought
I bought a Ferrari 308
No,
G-
you haven't.
It is a Ferrari.
It just isn't a Ferrari.
What Richard had bought was never originally called a Ferrari. It was so slow and wet, it was actually called a Dino.
There's no point going, I bought my George. It's from Asda. You've got a George car.
What's this?
It's a spare wheel.
Hang on, is this a V? They're a V6, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's brilliant. Engine in this. Honestly, the guy I bought it from just spent 10,000 quid rebuilding that engine. Sold the whole car for 7. Shows how much the
Gentleman's
rest of
light.
it's worth.
So-
Watch the headlamps. They work brilliantly. Ready? There you go. The headlights are on.
But they're...
No, you can see they're on if you get down here. Look,
the
there they are.
headlight,
Look,
yeah.
can you see them?
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame.
There you
Let
have
go
it.
of it.
If I let go,
You may have noticed we're waffling a bit, and that's because we're waiting for Captain's sense of direction, who we assumed had got lost.
you fancy some lunch?
Well, it's
But
getting that way, isn't it?
we were wrong.
James has bought an AA truck. He's bought a...
At least you made it to the end of our last one of these before getting on one. Right.
James, we said a mid-engined Italian supercar, not a truck.
That's fun.
Is that the best you two can come up with?
Yes, it is. What is your...
That,
Apart from
gentlemen,
was
is
the part.
a Lamborghini Huraco. Look at it.
Not a very good example.
It's
not
superb.
moving.
But James, let's cut to the chase.
OK.
It's on a lorry.
It's an electrical problem. The Italians invented electricity, as we know.
James decided the best form of defence was attack.
I mean, I know about old cars, as you know, and I can look at this, and with my trained eye, I can tell you immediately that that is a pub.
You've got a
Look, I
trained
mean,
eye,
look-
and you bought that.
So, what had the production team got in store for us?
Have a look.
Don't
Oh, yes.
do that to my car!
Your 70th supercar mission for today is to drive from Bristol to Spearmint Rhino in Slough.
That's a lap dancing club. Is it? Oh, you don't know.
Well, no, that's what these cars are about. OK, fair enough. You may not use the M4 itself, so we've got to go along the M4 corridor on the wiggly road.
Swindon,
Yeah, all of that.
Reading.
Maidstone.
You're such a direction. You mean Maidenhead?
Oh, yeah.
Maiden.
So as long as he's got a sense of direction, he can get there.
Maiden. Oh.
As usual, points would be lost for unforeseen stoppages, and naturally there would be a series of challenges along the way.
Our meeting point was the Valley of Fire in Nevada. And what you see here is the car I'll be using.
This is a Lexus LFA. It's not the most powerful car in the world, it's not the fastest, it's not the best looking, and it certainly isn't the cheapest. Plus, the Lexus badge does come with a whiff of masonry. But I drove one of these in England last year, and I emerged from the experience thinking that might very well be the best car I've ever driven. And that's why we're here, to find out.
At this point, the stillness of the desert was shattered by the sound of an approaching James May, who was at the wheel of the new Aston Martin Vanquish.
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
It's not bad, is it? This is a DBS replacement, but also a bit inspired by the £177 million thing.
And look at the upholstery.
I know, the upholstery is outrageous.
That's the best looking Aston there's ever been, actually.
Best one they've done. That, though, because I've never seen one in a good colour like that, that is pretty fantastic.
No, but yours is better. And the great thing is I'm in the better car and I'm just going to follow you around going, that is beautiful.
After a bit more mutual mastication, we started to wonder what Billy Bob Hammond might bring.
Will it be something subtle, small, European?
Now, my money was on something rather large, brash, and maybe even American.
And blow me down, I was right.
So, the new Viper.
New?
Yeah. I know it looks exactly like the old one, but that is the new Viper.
Yeah.
Subtle.
Before you two start, let me just tell you, that 8.4-litre V10, that's the largest engine ever fitted to any production car since the war. And looking around here, let's not forget this car is the fastest with the highest top speed. It's the fastest to 60, the most powerful, 640 brake horsepower. It's got the most torque and the biggest engine.
I'm sorry, Hammond.
Oh, come on.
They
and
haven't
you will-
styled it.
They have. This has been in a wind tunnel to look like this. This
Do
That's
they?
been in a wind tunnel.
Yes,
They've parked it in there sideways for all the
It's
goodies.
been in a wind
Panel
tunnel.
gap. Look at the panel gap. Is that?
I'll stand behind you. You can have a look at me.
Let me see if I can see how many fingers you can holding up in that panel gap.
Well, there
Yep,
has to be
two.
a
There you
gap
go.
between the panels, or there'd be one piece, wouldn't there? Let's have a look at yours anyway. That looks ridiculous.
it's a
just a
Lexus.
nerd fest.
It's a Lexus.
It's for rich golfists, is what it is.
I admit the Lexus.
And if you want to talk about panel gap, there's a whopper straight away. Look.
It's a cooling
It's
system.
heck, it doesn't fit. I'm surprised at you, because this is a bunch of retro nonsense, really.
It's not.
just
I'm sorry.
harking back to
I'm
the
sorry.
past.
I
Hang on a
won't
minute.
have
It's
that.
very pretty, yes, but it's
What,
harking
it's harking back to the past, and
Yes,
a
it
car
is.
with an engine from the 1930s isn't.
This is a nerd fest. That's for old fools. That is a proper, honest Gran Turismo 8.4-litre V10.
You don't
Hammond,
need it to
hold
be
on.
that big.
Hang on a second. Who owns Chrysler now, the people that made this?
Fiat.
What else do they make?
Ferrari.
There you go.
Yes, but Hammond, all brand is made by the same people who make Frosties. Doesn't mean they're comparable, does it?
Stupid.
It's not.
Right.
I
look,
knew I was going to get
shush,
some flack.
Shush. Instead of just standing here arguing,
Yes,
why don't we go for a drive?
that's a better idea.
Open the tabs.
Yep, it was Berlin. I was the first to arrive, and as you would imagine, I had done everything properly.
This is a Mercedes 190 Cosworth, and Martin Brundle, the former Formula One driver, said that this car had one of the best chassis ever fitted to a four-door saloon. It is, if you like, the thinking man's BMW M3. Talking of which... Hammond.
Oh, yeah. Take a look.
Yes.
BMW M3, 3.2 litres.
So you've bought the wrong one.
No, actually, I haven't, because the original one is now considered the classic.
So you can't get a good one for less than 15,000. This, the Series 2 of the M3, is bigger, faster, and better. So this is the famous Mercedes 190.
It is.
2.3,
Cosworth.
16. Known for being the slowest performance car of all time.
At that moment, we were interrupted by the arrival of Clarkson.
Predictable, predictable.
For good reason.
The only reason you two didn't buy a Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth is because you forgot about it.
No, it's because when you think of high-performance four-door saloons, you naturally think of Germany.
It's what they do here.
Exactly.
And where was yours made?
It was designed by a man called Boer Banson, who is German.
And where was it built?
Belgium.
Ah, Belgium, the mecca for the performance motorist.
Yeah. Belgium is home to everything: tennis players, chips.
It's not the first place you think of going for a performance saloon car.
You are going to lose this, and you will end up in Sekula. Whatever.
At that moment, a challenge arrived.
Oh, hello. Thank you. You will now leave Berlin and
Yeah.
head down an unrestricted autobahn.
Good.
Points will be awarded for every MPH more than 130 that you can, or should we say, dare, achieve.
So won't be out of second gear when they're going on.
What's your top speed?
Top speed of that?
Yeah.
151.
Mine had to be limited to 155. This was when they introduced limiting. They realised it's too fast. It's a monster. We must limit
Fair
it.
enough, because this had the six-cylinder engine,
It did,
3.2
yeah,
litre.
3.2, yeah.
James, I seem to remember this was not that fast.
No.
What was its top speed?
143.
143?
Yes.
So not really a performance car.
But I reckon mine will still do that, because it is a Mercedes-Benz.
What?
Oh, my God!
Ah, the interior, yeah.
Have you seen the inside of his car?
Toffee and caramel, that interior is.
It's not.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone for the fake wood door
Oh, yeah,
pulls.
that's a quality touch.
Right, we've got to get out of Berlin.
OK.
What's that?
I don't know.
Wasn't there this morning.
You don't think it fell out of James's luggage, do you?
Fell out of my what? I missed that.
I've been quite brave with my choice of car. Fiat Barchetta. I used to have one of these, but this isn't just any Barchetta. It's a Riviera Special Edition. Black paint, red quilted leather. It's beautiful.
You haven't been brave, you've been stupid.
It's beautiful.
It's stupid, it's a Fiat.
Shut up.
I have been a wise man. I have bought a Mazda MX-5.
Yeah, the boring, obvious choice. That's why I originally bought myself one of those.
Yes, because listen, every time we do one of these trips, every time I get the interesting car that's in a cloud of steam. This time, wherever we're going, this will make it. You know that.
As you'd expect, I've been the wisest, and I've done this properly. I've combined European stylishness with legendary German reliability in this BMW Z3.
I didn't know. We're banking, aren't we? I didn't know you could get a Z3 for less than 3,500 quid.
You can't.
Well, how much did you pay for it?
I rounded it up.
How?
3,966.
Well, that's more than the budget. You've spent too much.
So we're not three wise men. We're one wise man, an idiot and a cheat.
The meeting point was the beautiful town of Lecce in the heel of Italy. And I was the first to arrive.
This is the McLaren MP4-12C. It's a car made with an almost psychotic attention to detail. It's very technical. It's why I think it probably suits me quite well.
Then Jeremy arrived in a car that suits him quite well.
Morning, Shrinking Violet.
This is a Lamborghini Aventador. What I love most of all about this is that Audi did all the sort of boring engine and wiring bits and then let Lamborghini go mad with the styling. It looks better than yours, and therefore it is better.
I agree. As a poster, as Lamborghinis always have been, it is superb. It looks great. But it's a bit of a dinosaur, to be honest.
It isn't.
It is. It's too big, it's too wide.
I'm sorry? This, you just know, all they ever talked about was G. They were sitting going, how can we make it go around a corner a little bit faster with a camera?
It's a supercar.
So we give it guns. Let's give it guns. Space rockets. This, they will have had 7 years of meetings to get to that windscreen wiper.
So it works properly?
Yes.
But what's wrong with that?
Well, Lamborghini would have said, why don't we just use, like, a laser? Why don't we have lasers shooting heat onto the windscreen to get rid of... That's why I love Lambos. They're all mental.
Have you had a lot of pop today, Jeremy?
At that moment, Hammond arrived in an Opel M600.
Oh, yeah.
So, Hammond...
Morning.
Let's just get this straight. You think there are people in the world who are going to say, no, I don't want something Italian and exotic, don't want a Ferrari. I want something built on a light industrial unit in Leicestershire.
No, because...
No, wait a minute, sorry. You buy this, I think, because it's got the engine from a Volvo XC90.
Yes, it does. It does.
Yes, the engine may be from a Volvo, but it's made by Yamaha.
Oh,
it's a
Yamaha.
V8 twin engine. It's absolutely magnificent, and this car, above all else, is light. Comparing these is like, it's like comparing me with you. The power-to-weight ratio is insane. 541 brake horsepower per tonne in there. That's Bugatti Veyron territory, and you know it. This is going to crush you guys like beetles under its feet.
Soon, our cars started to draw a bit of a crowd. So the producers said we should leave the town and...
Our meeting point was Millbrook in Bedfordshire, the biggest and most daunting test track in Britain. Its 2-mile banked circuit, its rough roads and its formidable alpine handling track are designed to test brand new cars to destruction. So what kind of havoc will they wreak on our 1,500 quid bangers? I was the first to arrive with my 2-door coupe that isn't a Porsche.
What it is a Mitsubishi Starion. I've always loved these things, and this is the last one ever imported into Britain. It's a wide-bodied 2.6-litre turbo, 14 years old, done 81,000 miles, a few bumps and scrapes, of course, but mechanically, quite good order.
James had bought himself a 1,000-year-old antique.
Well, James.
It's a Jag, it's got 12 cylinders, and it's gold, sir. Look at that.
I'm really quite cross because it doesn't appear to be. I mean, I assumed, because I never even bothered looking for an XJS because I thought it would just be rubbish for this money.
I never bothered looking for a Starion because I just knew it was rubbish, full stop.
Don't you like the DeLorean rear thing?
Yes, did DeLorean use gaffer tape as well?
And finally, Hammond arrived.
I knew he'd buy a BMW Rex.
Actually, it looks very good.
Yeah.
Your handbrake
Your
working
handbrake.
well there, then, is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh dear.
It's you know, reasonably well. Anyway, he's bought a grandfather clock.
He has. Anyway, let's just have a look at this.
Hang on a minute.
Is it an M? What is it?
He's forgotten to put his red braces on.
Oh, shut up.
633?
This is a 635, 1983. Oh, yeah.
You can go
That's
635.
635 within budget. What have you got? Oh, my God.
What?
It's a wheelie bin.
We
Look
have
at
to get
it.
on with this challenge because
Yes.
have you seen under his car?
Pool of oil and it's growing.
No, there's plenty in there, though.
So, first challenge, and it is here. Thank you very much. High-speed bowl challenge. You will drive around the banked high-speed circuit as quickly as possible. 140 miles an hour is your target speed. Points are lost for failing to achieve it and gained for beating it.
This is Exchange Square in the heart of Europe's biggest financial district. It's the spiritual home of hedges, stocks, futures, and of course, Porsches. Though probably not ones like this. It's what I bought though, a 23-year-old 924. The Porsche that was designed for every man. I didn't spend 1,500 quid on my 924. I didn't even spend a grand. 750 quid from a Porsche. 750 quid, and the lights pop up. I was feeling pleased until I saw what James had bought. You've got a 944.
in white. This looks all right from like a really big distance.
What do you mean from a distance? It looks all right close up, I think. This has got the 2.5 litre 4-cylinder engine, and it's a proper Porsche-developed engine. Whereas I think your car has the engine from a VW van.
What's his nibs going to go?
Well, I'm expecting him to have got one of those, to be honest.
In fact, his nibs had been rather more ambitious.
Oh my! He's got a 928.
Absolutely, a 928. No everyman Porsche for me. This one has a 4.7 litre V8.
Four at most.
Then I give you a timeless classic, a proper Porsche.
Jeremy, you got a 928 on our budget.
Beneath this rather faded, ruined exterior beats a heart of pure arthritis.
Come and have a look at this. Come and have a look at this.
It's even full of junk.
No, these are the water bottles, which are a little bit necessary.
Got you.
In order to make it kind of
Do you
move.
not think you may have overreached yourself a bit?
Well, I've seen one for more than this advertised as spares.
Now, but
really
I've got
hope
to have
so.
a look at what you've got. This looks quite good, actually.
From a distance. Look, it's been in a canal at some point. Hey, now, survey the magnificence.
This one has the van engine.
It has a good, simple
Van engine.
I don't know what that is.
We got 3 Porsches, that's the
We
thing.
did get 3
There they
Porsches.
are.
Pretty
Van.
ropey, scrap. Mine looks pretty good.
Let's have a look at what the challenge is. Can we have an envelope, please? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Veteran cars can make it from London to Brighton, but can you?
No.
No, absolutely. So that's out. But why do it? 5 points are lost for each time you have to open the bonnet en route. Well, that's thousands for you.
Oh, no.
Throw the bonnet away. Rendezvous on the seafront to receive your next challenge, assuming you make it. ... Jeremy. So Brighton, basically, from here in
Brighton.
our
How far's
Porsches.
that?
It's
miles.
70 miles.
I'm very confident.
Well, I'll see you in the seaside then, chaps.
No, you won't. But all right, let's go.
So we took the plunge as well, and an hour later met up at the American War Museum with our cheap as chips wheels. I bought this. It's a Minsk, Russian, 125cc, and it's, well, basically the AK-47 of bikes. Rugged, simple, easy to repair. It is built specifically to be used in countries where there are no roads. It will be, for whatever they throw at us, perfect.
I've gone completely native and I've bought this. It's an ancient Honda 50 Super Cub, the greatest motorcycle in history. Over 60 million of those have been built, and it is a greater liberator of the people than, well, that American tank, for example.
I've bought this, which is a motorcycle.
And technically, this is a scooter.
It
Now,
is.
let go now, it'll just fall over.
Oh, it's got a thing called a stand.
You really don't know anything about
Nothing.
bikes, do you? I mean, really
Nothing.
Tell you what I will say, it is actually very pretty, but
That's
also
lovely.
it's going to be useless because whatever the challenge is, tiny wheels and looking good, that's not going to help you.
He's
If
right.
the
Why are
challenge
tiny
happens-
wheels wrong?
Because the holes are big and the little wheels go
What
further
holes?
into them. Well, holes in the road.
So you'll be all over the place.
How many cylinders has it got?
Well,
One.
it's two-stroke.
It was time for the main challenge.
I promise you, I'm not interested in this.
You will now attempt to achieve in 8 days what the Americans failed to achieve in 10 years. Get from the south of Vietnam to the north. You will ride from here in Saigon to Halong City, near the Chinese border, which is 1,000 miles away. That is that is the best challenge we've ever had.
I'm going. I'm getting. Get his bike started. Let's
Honestly,
go.
that is fantastic.
I can't do that. I can't do... Guys, I can't do that. I can't ride a bike. Ridiculous. I'm sorry, this is stupid.
You're
And
such
I'm
a
not joking, it is. I don't know who came up with this, but it's daft.
I think it's brilliant. I'm more excited than anything we've ever done.
I can't believe you're being a misery gust.
Because it's 1,000 miles in the rainy
know,
season.
that's the best thing about
It's 1,000
it.
miles in the rainy season in a country with not very good roads, and I can't ride a bike.
I was the first to arrive.
OK, what I've got here is a Fiat Coupe. Paid £900 for it, so the police could buy getting on for 10 of these for the cost of one Astra. And this is the 20-valve, 5-cylinder turbo version, so it does 152 miles an hour. And of course, if it were ever to appear on one of those police crash accident programs, it would make our officers look rakish.
Sadly, the same couldn't be said of James's car.
Masonry opens doors, James. Here, look, let me show you.
Morning.
Well, then, to join the police, you have to be in the Masons, and therefore you've got a Mason's car. Therefore, I'm doing the secret handshake.
Morning.
It's a Lexus, James.
It is, yes.
And you paid?
£900.
But you could have had one of these. I paid $900 for that. Much better. OK, the police has a recruitment problem.
Yes.
So you've got an advert saying wanted policemen to spend all day driving around in very boring Lexus, or policemen wanted to drive 20-valve turbocharged R-registered Fiat Coupe.
To the garage.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Not yet.
Our argument was then brought to a shuddering halt.
But it is!
It's like Officer Barbie has arrived.
Yeah. Well, they all run around in Range
This
Rovers.
is police, not a hairdressing salon.
You see police in Range Rovers all the time. This is a budget, but I think pretty nifty alternative. It is a 1994 Suzuki Vitara 1.6 JLX SE.
How's this going to look when you pull up outside someone's house to tell them that their husband's just been killed in an industrial accident?
James and Richard then set about my Don Johnson mobile.
So you're going to climb into the cab of the AA recovery vehicle and say, follow that?
You're nicked. And have you got a fan belt for an old Fiat? Because it's back there.
But I retaliated by demonstrating a special feature.
Can you open the boot?
Yeah, done that.
You see,
Yeah.
an armed siege, OK?
Yeah.
I'm pinned down in the car by Robert De Niro. I need to get at my M16. I just come through here without getting out of the car.
It really was time for a challenge.
We don't yet know what we've got to do.
Well, if it's go to Brighton and pose undercover in gay clubs, you're right there already.
Yeah.
We've got a challenge here, boys.
Please don't let it have the word Brighton in it.
Now that you have your cars, you must each use your skill and ingenuity to turn them into the perfect modern police car for no more than £500. You must meet up at the track for a series of tests to find out which one is best. I tell you what.
What?
I think this is the first time in all of Top Gear's history where all three of us like all three of the cars. I mean, normally I get out and go, yours is rubbish and you've made the wrong decision and I'm the only one who's done it properly.
No, it's a good point, actually, because I do like your car and I do like your car, Hammond, and I like my car,
It's a
obviously.
GTR. You can't not like a GTR.
If you like driving above all else and to the exclusion of all other considerations, you have to have one of these. If you have a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, what you're saying is, I'm not that interested in driving.
It's showing off.
It's showing off. Speaking of which, the Bentley Continental. Now, what happened there?
We used to think it was a bit dull, and now it's sort of good.
But it was overnight.
It was.
We all must have woken up
I hate the Bentley
independently.
Continental. I hate the Bentley Continental. I hate the Bentley Continental. God, I love the Bentley Continental. I don't understand that, because they haven't changed the styling much.
Not since, I mean, it's been around a while now, but...
But then you just woke up one morning, I went, that looks really good.
I'd actually have a yellow one as well. I think it looks tremendous.
But then while we're on the subject of styling... Oh, how we mocked when they said they were going to do this. Right, so you're going to do a four-door version of a two-door version of a four-door saloon car. And then it came out, you just thought, that is so good looking.
I love that back wheel. That dished back wheel in there looks super.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Almost a double bubble roof.
Yeah.
I know it's carbon fibre, which is a little bit.
But
You know, we can gloss over that.
But, God, it looks good.
As we continued our three-car love-in, a challenge arrived.
Here we go. You will drive to a farm, which is 4 days from here. Everything's 4 days from everything in Australia. And when you arrive, you will use your cars to round up 4,000 cows.
Can you do that?
The farm is a big one, 3 million acres.
No,
We
it's
read
not
that
3
wrong.
million.
Oh, it's in
I know it's in work, yeah. It's not. Are you sure?
It's 300,000.
That's
3 million
a
is a
big
country.
farm.
Never mind that. Rounding up 4,000 cows using...
These.
James, what have you done?
What's he done? What?
As we know, there is a strong Republican movement in this country, people who think it's ridiculous to have a head of state living in London on the other side of the world. He turns up here with that on the number plate.
What?
Can you not see that? It's obvious.
No.
Charles and Camilla. You've done it on purpose, haven't you, James?
No,
You
look, let me explain.
blithering idiot.
You idiot!
Oh, no! Mine
And you
says big royalist.
It does!
It totally does. You
Big
can see it.
royalist. Luckily, mine just says BMW 001 because I covered myself on this occasion.
No, you idiot. Bloody Mrs. Windsor.
Oh no! Bloody Mrs. Windsor!
Trouble now.
How can you possibly know? I rang them up and said, can you provide a car? Can you make sure the number plate doesn't say convict or anything on it? And they've done that! We're going to have to drive through it. We'll be stoned by Republicans.
It's the Caterham 7, but it's no ordinary Caterham 7. This is the R500 Superlight. It is, as you'd guess, less heavy. It has no frills, no adornments, no garnish apart from a few stripes. It's simple, it's pure, it's an unadulterated driving experience, and I absolutely love it. But, and this is a weird thing, Jeremy Clarkson believes he's come up with something better.
Yes, I have. This is the KTM crossbow. Part insect, part terrain-following missile.
Wait a minute.
What?
I thought you were bringing that new thing they're making in Cheshire.
What, the BAC Mono?
Yes.
It broke down
Where did it break down?
in the factory.
What, it broke down while they were still building it?
Yes. No, it really did. So, this is my second choice, and despite that, it's still better than yours.
Is it?
Yes.
Why is that then?
Because yours is from the 1950s, and this is from this morning. Carbon fibre panels, mid-engined, pushrod actuated, double wishbone suspension.
How much is it?
49,000.
Yeah, you see, mine's £41,000, so it's cheaper.
Yes.
And it's better.
This was fine in 1961.
It's not the same car anymore, is it? It's got, you know, a better engine, it's got better suspension, better materials, it's been made slightly wider, it's got modern instruments, it's got
Modern
a
instruments?
sequential shift.
At this point, we were joined by our colleague.
What in the name of all that's holy?
Ha-ha! You see, if you want a car built purely for fun, then you want this. It's the latest Morgan. It's made largely from aluminium, which is mixed with wood. But then that's the way Morgan build their cars, you see.
Why has it got RAF roundels on it?
Well, because, interestingly, it has been styled to look reminiscent of an aeroplane. It's got aeroplane
hasn't got
style.
wings.
It's got aeroplane-style gauges.
Why is the engine not in the car?
Because it's an air-cooled V-twin, and it needs to be outside because that's where the air is.
What's in there?
Oil tank and the battery.
I think move to the back, if we may, Hammond,
Yes,
where we
of
have
course.
another question. And the question I'm going to ask is, it doesn't have any back wheels.
No, it does. It has one in the middle there.
So it's actually a tricycle.
It is a
It's
tricycle.
a three-wheeler. It's reminiscent of the original Morgan three-wheeler. Like, ask me what it weighs. Ask me what it weighs.
What does it weigh?
495 kilos. Less than 500 kilos.
But it's only half
The
a
reason,
car.
if I sawed my leg off, I'd weigh much less than I do now. I wouldn't actually function anymore. I'd keep falling
This
over.
is good. You could pick this up and put it in your pocket if you so
It
chose.
looks like a coal scuttle.
I've got to ask, how much?
With taxes and things?
Yes.
£30,000.
£30,000?
It'd probably be 40 if it had four wheels.
Did you say as well, it's made from wood?
That's how Morgan build cars, coach build.
Traditional.
So there are
I
elements of wood
reckon
in
if
here.
you went to Morgan and said, would you like some diphtheria, they'd say, yes, please, because that's traditional.
Wood
It's
is
a good
light
point.
and flexible and endlessly renewable and an excellent material to build cars from. The only reason more people don't do it is that you need craftsmen to build it. You can't just have some week pressing a button and stamping them out.
That's not true.
The
The Nissan GTR would be worse if it was made of wood.
The early aeroplanes were made from wood, but the Boeing 747 isn't. There's no wood in it.
Eventually, the producer